Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning to everyone. So today I want to talk about Indonesia. Is situated in the Indian and Pacific Ocean. It's the most populous country in Southeast Asia and the fourth globally. It boasts the largest economy in the region, comprising a diverse archipelago of over 16,000 islands, with 5 main islands and 4 archipelagos. Each region within Indonesia possesses unique culture characteristics, language, and costumes. The country is rich in natural resources and cultural diversity, with a population surpassing 275.7 million. Indonesia continues to grow economy with 5.05% GDP expansion in 2023 and expectation of 5.3% growth in 2024. Despite challenges including impact from the COVID-19 pandemic, Indonesia maintained a resilient labour force with participation rate increasing to 69.3% in 2023.
Inflation is defined as the persistent and sustained increase in the average price level of goods and services. Essentially, when there's too much money chasing too few goods, leading to a decrease in purchasing power.
Rumah tangga bisa menjerit, Pak.
Inflation is typically measured by the Consumer Price Index or CPI, which tracks the changes in the price for a basket of goods and services over time. There are two main types of inflation, demand pull and cost push. Demand pull inflation happens when the demand for goods and services exceeds supply, driving prices up. This often occurs in a growing economy where consumers have money to spend. On the other hand, cost push inflation is when the cost of production for goods and services increases, leading businesses to raise prices. This can be due to the higher wages, increased cost of raw materials, or other production expenses. There are three different degrees of inflation. The first one is creeping inflation. Creeping inflation is when prices rise slowly, typically between 2% to 3% annually. This is often considered manageable and can be a sign of a healthy economy. Instead of that, mild inflation is price rising between 3% to 4%. While still manageable, it can start to erode purchasing power more noticeably. Lastly is a hyperinflation. This inflation happens when prices increase very fast and reaches double digit. The economy depressed because of the inflation, since the value of money fall very fast and the public lost confidence. Now let's break down the causes. Demand pull inflation can be triggered by various factors such as increased government spending, investment, net export, and money supplies. When the economy is near full employment, this factor can lead to high income levels and rising prices due to increased demand. Cost push inflation, on the other hand, can stem from the several sources. Wages push inflation occurs when rising wages increase production costs. This is often seen when labor unions negotiate higher wages, driving up the cost of goods and services. Profit push inflation happens when companies with significant market power increase prices to boost profit. This can lead to a higher cost for consumers across the market. Import-induced inflation arises from higher cost of imported goods due to factors like exchange rate, fluctuations of increases tariff. This can cascade into a higher production costs for businesses relying on imported materials. Let's move forward on the effects of inflation. Unequal income distribution. Inflation impacts different segments of society unequally. For fixed income groups like government workers, rising prices decrease their purchasing power. This makes it harder to maintain their standards of living and affect basic necessities, leading to increased financial pressure. Conversely, those in the flexible income groups, such as entrepreneurs, often see high incomes during inflationary period. They can charge more for their products and services, boosting their profits and widening the income gap between them and fixed income earners. Borrowers and creditors. Inflation significantly affects borrowers and creditors. As the inflation rises, the value of money decreases. Lenders receive repayments in money that is worth less, while borrowers benefit by repaying loans with a devalued money. This dynamic typically favors borrowers but disadvantages lenders.
Let's move to measures to control inflation. If inflation is caused by an excessive aggregate demand, it can be controlled by decreasing the aggregate demand using fiscal policy and monetary policy. Fiscal policy is involved using government spending and taxes to influence economic conditions such as demand, employment, inflation, and growth. During a recession, the government may cut taxes or increase spending to stimulate the economy. To combat inflation, it might raise taxes or reduce spending to slow economic activity. Monetary policy is the central bank can decrease the money supply using variety of monetary tools. This action will diminish money creation, consumption, and investment, resulting in lower aggregate demand. As a result, price will reduce.
There are some tools of monetary policy. Firstly, increase interest rate. Higher interest rate will encourage more saving while reducing aggregate demand and prices. Secondly, increase required reserve ratio. By adjusting this requirement, they can influence the money supply in the economy. Lastly, increase special deposit by commercial bank during inflation. Commercial banks are sometimes required to deposit an additional percentage of their deposit in the central bank to control their credit creation and decrease money supply and price level.
Hi, I'm Farhana, live from Indonesia. Did you know that Indonesia's inflation fell more than the predicted in December 2023? Let me show you the analysis of Indonesia inflation rate. Indonesia experienced moderate inflation between 2013 to 2023. There was a drastic decrease in 2016 compared to 2015. However, in 2022, the rate goes up unexpectedly. This happened due to pressure from increasing demand and rising input costs, but the rate goes down in 2023. The inflation in Indonesia was caused by many factors such as the Russian invasion of Ukraine and coronavirus disease. Russian invasion of Ukraine has started at the end of February 2022. The battle could increase some food commodity prices, and leading commodities will also experience significant deficiency due to the conflict. While COVID-19 pandemic has a profound impact in various sectors in Indonesia, this disease has weakening the economy of Indonesia and countries around the world. Government and Bank Indonesia has agreed on 5 strategic steps to maintain the inflation rate on range of 3%. The steps were as follows. First of all, strengthening policy coordination. The government had to lower the current account deficit to more manageable level and managing foreign debt in a healthy way. Second, increasing the food supply. The government has modernized the technology and land processing as well as increases agricultural land area. Third, reducing the deficit. The government raised the revenues from tax sector, and this may lead to reduce the demand as well as reducing the foreign borrowing. Next, increasing foreign exchange reserve. Bank of Indonesia believes that exchange in foreign reserve may remain adequate, supported by continued economic stability and prospect. Lastly, improving and increasing aggregate supply capabilities. This was purposely to close the output gap and build national manufacturing industry for better performance.
Unemployment refers to a situation where a person actively searches for employment but is unable to find work. Unemployment is considered to be a key measure of the health of the company. The most frequently used measure of unemployment is the unemployment rate. It's calculated by dividing the number of unemployed people by the number of people in the labor force. There are 6 types of unemployment. Firstly, hidden unemployment. Failure to achieve full employment or to produce the max amount of goods that can be produced by labor. Hidden unemployment does not impact the aggregate output of an economy. Number 2, frictional unemployment. This type of unemployment is usually short-term. It is also the least problematic from an economic standpoint. It occurs when people voluntarily change jobs. Similarly, graduates just searching for jobs. Number 3, cyclical unemployment. The variation in the number of unemployed workers over the course of economic upturns and downturns. Unemployment rises during recessionary periods and declines during periods of economic growth. Number 4, structural unemployment. Longer-lasting form of unemployment caused by fundamental shifts in economy. Skilled workers are no longer suitable with the jobs. Number 5, seasonal unemployment. Occurs when people are employed at particular times of the year when demand for labor is lower than usual. In tourist areas, seasonal unemployment could be a big problem because work is only available for a few months a year. Lastly, technology unemployment. A phenomenon where advancements in technology such as automation and artificial intelligence, which is AI, that replace human jobs. This concept has become increasingly relevant as new technologies change the way we work, creating efficiencies, but also displacing workers in industry various.
So next, we're going to move on to the effects of unemployment. So unemployment has significant individual and family consequences. Financial uncertainty and job search pressure increase stress and anxiety, leading to feelings of worthlessness, hopelessness, and depression, especially if unemployment is prolonged. Family relationships often strain due to financial insecurity. Socially, unemployment can lead to higher crime rates as people in desperate economic situations may resort of fraud, theft, and robbery to survive. For the government, unemployment reduces income tax revenue and consumer spending, leading to lower sales tax revenue. Additionally, the government must increase spending on unemployment benefits and social welfare programs to support jobless individuals. Other than that, monetary policy. This monetary policy seeks to boost the money supply in the economy by lowering interest rates, purchasing government securities, and reducing reserve requirements for banks. An expansionary policy reduces unemployment and stimulates business activity and consumer spending. The primary aim to this policy to drive economic growth, although it may also lead to higher inflation.
Okay, let's pass this again to our crew in Indonesia. Fahana, how about the unemployment that happened in Indonesia in 10 years back?
Yes, Amma. We move on to the issue of unemployment. Indonesia's unemployment rate stated the highest in South Asia. The cause said was because of lack in education and skills, one of it. According to the graph, the unemployment rate showed a drastic and large number of increase in 2020 due to the pandemic of COVID-19. However, the unemployment dropped in 2023, and this happened in effort of the government. The government has organized a job fair to facilitate direct communication between employers and job seekers. Other than that, the government has promoted informal economic activities. This approach is to create home industries in multiple locations so that they can absorb the labor. Next, establishing job training centers. The training job center is built in order to train workers to fill open positions. Last but not least, increase transmigration. This is the strategy to annually distribute the people to densely populated island to sparsely populated island. This can make the most of available natural resources. So that's all from me, Nur Imran Farhana binti Muhammad Nusirani. We're back to the studio.
In conclusion, Indonesia as Southeast Asia's largest country and the world's fourth most populous nation with a significant economy faces challenges such as inflation and unemployment. The Indonesian government aims to improve coordination between central and authorities for more effective implementation. Despite slow domestic and global demand, the economy demonstrated resilience, resulting in a decrease in the unemployment rate. In the end, we aspire to a brighter future for everyone.
That's all from us. My name is Nur Arika binti Zamil.
My name is Mama Amar Biramli.
My name is Ms. Rina Nabi Abidin Sajuddin.
And my name is Shafia Arabi binti Muhammad Fuad.